Hello, everybody. Welcome to Project Pack number 9. This is a really exciting project pack for us because this was almost like something that just fell in our laps at a time when I think we all really needed it. The world kind of spoke to us, and we decided that it was time for us to put together a project pack as soon as possible. And we had this idea, and this is what it came from it. And I really am excited about the way this talks about collaboration with ourselves and with our community. I love the way that it brings attention to the first step in the Zentangle Method, which is gratitude. I love the way that we're playing with some of our more organic tangles, our tangles that are inspired by nature and growth, and playing with techniques that show us layering and playing with some pretty cool shading and yeah, it's a little bit different, and it's gonna be fun. So thank you so much for joining us. This project pack is also a little different because we are going to be working on one project for 6 days. So we're not going to finish one tile from start to finish every day. In fact, we're going to be kind of chiseling away at 6 different tiles as we go along. If you have purchased a project pack from us, project pack number 9, then you have all the materials you need. If you have not, we are going to be working with a couple of materials you might not have available, and so you might visit our website to learn more about a couple of the items that you might be needing, and you can check that out there before you go any further. Or you can watch this first and then follow along the second time you watch it with materials that you've kind of gathered to make do. So inside my project pack, I have a couple of things. I have a bunch of zendalas, which are round Zentangle tiles, and those look a little bit like this. You should have, I believe it is 12 of them of different colors. And then you have some pens, and the pens we're going to be using are these beautiful shades of green, these microns. One is like sort of a dark green, and one's a kind of fresh pea green or spring green, really beautiful. And those are both inside the project pack. So we're going to be playing with those 2 colors of green. And then we have graphite pencil, a white charcoal pencil, and the tortillons that go along with that. So we'll be using those. And then we have this. This is this really cool thing we are calling a Zendala Markus Operandus. And my mom, Maria Thomas, was the beautiful artist that put this together for us. And basically what this is kind of a fun way to create all different sorts of templates for you to fill with tangles. And it allows you a way to sort of divide up your Zendala into equally spaced sections and then use different things to create really cool templates. And so this is really exciting for us. This is the item that if you did not buy a project pack, you probably don't have, but you can go to our website to learn more about acquiring a Markus Operandus. We do have those available on there. So anyway, to get started today, we're going to be starting to work on the 6 tiles that we're going to be working on for the next 6 days. So to begin, I invite you to gather 6 different tiles. And this is your choice. You can choose, because we're going to be creating a mosaic of sorts, and we're going to be playing around with using some constant things and some different things on each tile. But what I need you to do is choose 6 tiles. You could choose 6 white tiles. You could choose 3 white tiles and 3 gray tiles. You could choose 3 gray tiles and 3 tan tiles. Or you could choose 2 of each, or whatever it is you wanted. You could do 2 gray, 2 tan, and 2 white. Whatever it is up to you, and all of them are going to be great. But you need to choose 6 tiles. And like I said, it doesn't really matter which 6, but those are going to be the ones you're going to work on for the next 6 days. So make a decision and move forward. And it's okay if you're not doing the exact same 6 that I'm doing. Okay, everybody with me? Do you pick your 6 tiles? So once you have your 6 tiles, I want you to put your other ones away. You can put them back in your envelope. We're not going to need them for a while. So to get started, I want you to take one of the Zendalas you're going to be working on, and I want you to place it right in the middle here. Okay, so it fits exactly on your Markus Operandus, okay? And then I want you to take your pencil and I want you to hold your Zendala down, okay? And I want you to simply just mark the 1, the 2, and the 4. Okay? You can put that aside. And I like to keep it in the same direction aside, so I kind of have the 1 mark upward, and I'm going to put that in a pile next to me. And I'm going to mark all 6 of my tiles in the same exact place. At the 1, at the 2, and at the 4. Okay? You can go ahead now and do all 6 tiles that same exact way. At the 1, at the 2, and at the 4. Okay, so now we should have 6 tiles marked at the 1, the 2, and the 4, and then have a stack of those tiles you're working with, okay? Now you can put your Markus Operandus. It's wicked cool. You're gonna fall in love with this thing and see all these really fun ways to use it. Now I want you to take one of those Zendalas, okay? And I'm flipping it over because it makes it easier for me to see. I'm flipping just one of them over. And I want to look at these where the 1 and 2 was, these 2 marks close together. And I'm going to use the other Zendala to match up those lines. Can everybody see that? I'm going to put it really close so you can see. So I have this marked just right there. I'm going to hold it. And then I'm going to simply trace that beautiful arc with my pencil. Okay. Now I'm going to find these other 2 marks that were my 2 and 4. And if you get lost, it's obviously the 2 that are closer together. It's not this big, big space. It's the other 2 that are closer together. And I'm going to match my Zendala up to those points. Take your time doing this and make sure it goes right where the marks meet the edge. And I'm going to hold my Zendala, take a deep breath, and I am going to simply trace that beautiful arc. Okay, so we should have a cool string like this. And this is just a really neat shape, these beautiful complex shapes evolve. And I know it looks so simple, but it's really going to be a fun string for us to play with. And I'm looking forward to playing with this beautiful shape here. And so now what I want you to do is do this on all 6 of those Zendalas. This is the string we're going to be playing with. So to review, it is first matching up the 2 marks that are close together and tracing that arc. And then second, matching up the next 2. The 2 and the 4 are the other 2 that are closer together. And again, getting something that looks like that. Okay, so now we'll do that on all 6 of the tiles that you chose. All right, you guys all stay with me? If you need to go back and watch it again, feel free to do that. That's totally fine. Okay, so we're going to continue getting ourselves set up here. And as I said earlier, this project's a little bit different. We're not going to be taking every tile from start to finish on every video. we're actually going to be chipping away at 6 tiles as we go along, okay? So just stick with us and let's enjoy the ride. So next I'm going to be using this dark green micron. It's an 05 micron. If you don't have a dark green one and you only have a black one, that's fine too. Don't worry about it. This is just a fun little variation. It's so springy. It's that time of year. We're playing with sort of some really organic tangles, and I thought green would be very appropriate for that. So let's enjoy it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to play just in this really beautiful kind of pea pod shape, or edamame shape, I don't know, whatever you want to call it here. And we're going to put the same thing inside all 6 of these tiles. And so what we're playing with here is the idea of putting something that's the same on each tile and then combining it with something that's different on each tile. So in these first 2 videos, we'll be kind of laying down the constant on all these tiles. And then in all the following videos, we'll start to put in something different on each one. And it's just a really nice way of creating a series or creating an ensemble or mosaic. Here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our pen and I'm going to simply trace over that arc line. Once you've traced over that arc line, I'm going to create an inner aura inside this shape. And what I mean by that is I'm just going to simply draw a line that sort of plays with that arc shape until I get to about here. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side, but on the other side I'm using the edge as my line I'm sort of responding to. So we have something like that. All right. So once we have that down, I'm going to fill this space much like I would fill using the Tangle Perk. And the Tangle Perk really plays with smushing like orbs into a space. And in this particular setup, it really reminds me of sort of like peas in a pod. So I'm going to begin in the middle here with like a big orb. And what I like to imagine is like as if the tension of the top and bottom are kind of smushing that orb in. So I kind of like to play with the orb almost looking like it sort of falls behind that space. And then as I work my way out, I like to play with these orbs sort of falling a little bit behind the one next to it until you get to the edge. And I'll do this side too. Really just like smushing its way in. Remembering to breathe. Take your time. And once I'm done smushing those orbs in, I'm just going to ever so gently go back and just add in a little bit of ink in those spaces where the orbs didn't fill. We call those interstices, those sort of spaces that become part of the composition, but they're just kind of like the background, the spaces in between. And the little care of spending time inking those in makes such a difference. And we're not shading these for a little bit, but once they're shaded, it really has such a nice effect. All right, so I'm going to do that one more time on another one, and then I'm going to invite you all to do that on all 6 of your tiles. So let's try that one more time just so you guys get the idea. Quite simply, just tracing over that string line and then going back in, creating an inner aura, And it's just that little space that like adds to it, just that little bit of space. Instead of working right to the edge, just a little white space that's going to add to our composition. And then starting in the middle, you put your first orb or your pea, whatever you want to call it. And then gently adding or smushing in these orbs. Taking your time. Breathing. All right. And then again, taking that, maybe I'll put another one there. That time afterwards to sort of go back, sculpt your lines, add ink in those interstices. And there you go. So I invite you to go ahead and add that on all 6 of your tiles. And we'll meet you back here for the next video in Project Pack 9. Thank you. Have a good day.